another video where I'm once again going off on a mini adventure to explore this idea of seeing the same land through 100 pair of eyes. I'm trying to entice you to get inside of yourself and reference what's in your repertoire to help you find a bit more of yourself. And in today's mini adventure, we're going to go slightly deeper into my own self and to reference really some difficulties, because it can be difficult to find out who you are. There can be unspent emotions and things inside which you're not consciously aware of. But bringing those to the surface, it'll change everything for you. And these emotions trapped in your body, it can make life difficult. And once again on these adventure trips, we are out in the utter wilderness. I can see virtually nothing, no buildings, just some cars and some trees, which means we're on our way, which means our adventure is coming. So I've just arrived out in the cold November countryside of Britain, down on the south coast, to a place that has a bit of a dark history. So the place I'm at today is down on the south coast, called Beachy Head, and it's simply a big cliff face facing south towards France. That is unfortunately a suicide hotspot. Now, I'm no expert, but from experience, those difficult emotions, anxiety, depression, you can channel those things out of yourself so they don't end up taking you. And you probably can't see with this camera those tiny little boats down there. And the obvious question is, why this place? Well, the cliff, which is just ahead of me, is 152 meters. Now, I don't like heights, but I get as close as I can. Here we go, cliff edge. Holy shit. See the lighthouse down there. Oh my god. Okay, this camera won't do it justice. It is obscenely high. You'd have to be in a very, very dark place to... Yeah. Just gonna move a bit further back here. And I'm just exploring this little area here. There's a little quote here. Mightier than the thunders of many waters, mighty than the waves of the sea. The Lord on high is mighty. God is always greater than all of our troubles. And as somebody that's gone through some incredibly challenging times, that stuff, it just gets stuck in your body and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know which way to turn, or just sometimes the answer is just not a good one at all. But I could never imagine the state of mind I'm in now, taking myself off the edge of that. That's it just looks pretty terrifying, if I'm honest. But the reason I'm here is because that emotion, that stuff, anxiety, depression, you can channel it out of your body. You can clean yourself out if you like. But again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, I'm just speaking from personal opinion and someone that's become my full self. So I have this integrated self where I'm in touch with my own emotion, my intuition. I'm living in harmony with my reality, which is pretty awesome, because I know who I am and what I can and can't do and how I work. And I think it's important to say that things were difficult for me in early life. This wasn't just a bit of unhappiness or depression. There were some pretty dark times, and processing your own self is so real. And that's why I'm making this channel, that's why I'm making this video, because all the answers are inside. You just got to work through that stuff and find out what it means. As I walk along the cliff here, you can see the Seven Sisters cliffs over in the distance, and I guess it can be pretty hard to fathom this kind of stuff, those emotions that are so difficult and so dark that it just logically makes sense to take yourself somewhere else. And I know that apart from this location, I know the bridge in San Francisco is another hot spot for people jumping off something pretty high. And yeah, I think for me this is kind of a reconciliation of realizing that that's not where I am, that's not something I ever plan on doing, and I've got so much to kind of live for and to work towards that I doubt I'll ever be in that situation ever again. But processing that stuff it's cleaned me out, it's made me whole, it's made me intuitive and emotional and in touch with who I am, and I understand myself and other people, and it's made my life something completely different. But you have to, this is a self-transformation I'm talking about. The self-transformation in psychology is a death of your old self. And unfortunately, with that death of your old self comes all the difficult emotions, the things you weren't able to process because you weren't your whole or full self. Yeah, I definitely still don't like heights. No, thank you. Okay, so as I wander back across the edge of this cliff here, like, subscribe, comment, but most importantly, before you go to sleep tonight, send a request to your subconscious. It was Thomas Edison that said never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. Think, write down, ask yourself, dear subconscious, how do I do this? Where do I find that? How do I create that? If, how, what, whatever you want to request of yourself. Doing this will help you find out who you are, where you are, unconscious difficulties, things you might have ignored, a whole bunch of stuff. And as always on the Self-Discovery Show, stay tuned for more.